and all that, right?
No, it's live. Well, we're alive, but
Sure.
yeah, it's going to be pre-recorded. And I'll make us all look good and
Yeah.
fix us all up for the kids out there. Okay,
Stefan, I love you for that, man.
what to make it to fix it, make us polish up and make us look good.
To make me look fabulous, man.
I'm gonna look at me. I'm so Jewish. I'm trying to sell these hats because I got crazy. I'll look like a wizard if I take my. You look great. You look great. Don't worry about it.
What hat you got on? You just dip your head down a little bit.
I could get you one of these.
Coffee Talk.
Coffee Talk, Adika Live. Look, I'm going to tell you something.
Is that the name
Scott.
of your show? Is that the name of your show? Okay.
You know what I love you? You don't even know the name of the show. You just went on. I could be a crazy man. You know nothing about me, but you're on the show.
No. I've got people around me that say, "No, this guy's good, man. You're gonna want to do this with him." Okay, I'm doing it. You know.
So hold
no
on.
problem.
This is a good way to start the interview. So I had to go through it's like Elvis. I had to go through Red West. This the whole Memphis Mafia. I had to do. So tell me, I had to go. There was levels to go to meet you, right?
Yeah, you got to go through this manager, and that guy over there. Then they got to call England, and then get a hold of my wife, you know, because I refuse to read my emails, right? So it's quite an ordeal. I know that it's all my fault, but somehow it all gets done, right? And that's the main thing. Right.
Let me tell you, my wife won't let me write an email because I'll write like I'm yelling at you, and I would have never gotten you. So she writes all my emails. Just disclaimer.
Right. Well, and it gets even worse because I'm that guy. I don't hang around with my phone at all. Right.
Yeah.
I'll just look at a couple of texts, and I'll go, yeah, okay, and then I'll write back and hit send and bang, throw it away. I have no idea if they have more to talk about, but I'm already gone out the door without my phone. So
yeah.
I tend to piss a lot of people off with that. So
you know what? I think it's better to be that way. We got so tied to our telephones, and it's actually a blessing and a curse. You have everything there, but then you have too much. Maybe remember the old days, like a phone call, like if I wanted to call you, just old school. Now. We'll go back. You're in Glendale. Hey Scott, you want to come? Let's go jam a little bit. I don't want to deal with Stefan today. Don't answer the phone.
And also, I don't do Facebook or any of those things. I do have people that do it for me, right?
Yeah.
But it's just too easy these days to say the wrong thing, and you're pissing off 50% of the people, and the other 50% love you, right? And I don't want anybody or anything. So I just kind of stay away from it.
You can't win. You can't win.
It doesn't seem like it these days,
No, it doesn't.
Wrong word.
I'm from Brooklyn. I pronounce things wrong. I can't even say. I'm afraid. Even my wife. I say one thing. That's it. I made tacos last night for my wife. I didn't cut the lettuce the way she wanted it. World War II.
Well. All right, that's getting a little anal too,
Well, I should marry you. That's it. I'm moving to London. So I should marry. So Scott, Black Rose. Is it? Am I correct here? And now, if I'm wrong, you could yell at me and yell at everybody that turned me on to you. Is it 42 years ago that Black Rose came out? Is it the anniversary today? April 13th, 79.
Oh my God. I think it's probably even longer than that. It's probably 45.
Is it 45?
I think Black Rose came out in 79.
Yeah, April 13th. And yeah.
What's the math on that?
Don't get me started now, Scott.
You get a calculator on it? The problem is right now is Lizzy has gone on for such a long time.
Yeah.
And we've got all these kind of landmark spots. It seems like every time you turn around, there's another thing going on with Thin Lizzy that people are celebrating, right? So it gets a little hard for me to figure out what are we celebrating this week? It's not that I can't or anything, but I just can't keep up.
It's so much. It's crazy. The longer the time goes, the greater the band is getting. Think of it. It's like a good wine, an aged wine or something, right? The story becomes bigger. People probably ask you through these interviews the same questions, over and over. It's like, oh God, how do I? So trust me, on my end, how do you think it is for me? What do I talk to Scott about that he has not talked about before? It's the hardest thing. So I'm like freaking out. Plus your friends.
And I get that. I get it. You know, I because you know that I've done thousands of interviews, and you're racking your brain of like, so what new trail can I blaze here? That's kind of almost impossible at this point. But
Yeah.
I did have one kid a few years ago. I was doing an interview with like some big, I think it was a Dutch paper, right? And we're doing this interview, and this kid, he's like 15 years old. He sits down next to me, and the journalist, the hardened journalist, was asking me all the expected questions, right? And this kid sitting, and he's practically doing this, I'm going, okay, just hold on a second. And he's fidgeting around, and no, I tell you what, you let me do this interview with this guy, and I will answer any question you want afterwards, okay? And he went, great, okay. So we get done. I turn around to him, I says, okay, buddy, I'm all yours, right? What do you got, right? And he asked me a question I had never been asked before. He goes, I've listened to all your albums, and I've seen you play live a few times. Can you tell me, why don't you play note for note exactly, the solos that come off the album? And I'm like, that's a great question. That is a great question, right? Yeah. So I told him, I said, well, some of those solos are very old, and if you made me play those solos note for note for that many years, I would probably shoot myself in the head, I said, plus, I want to show everybody that I've actually become a better guitar player than I was back then, right?
Yeah.
But, since he asked me that question, I had to go back. And it's like, he's absolutely right. Because I would go see Cream in Los Angeles play. Wow. And I wanted Eric Clapton to play those solos like I had been listening to in Mime to, Wow. So it kind of taught me a lesson. I went back and I listened to the solos, and I thought, well, okay, that bit there is probably memorable, so I'll stick that back in. And that ending, is hopefully people will remember that, so I'll use that ending. So yeah. I used that kid's original question to kind of almost better myself as a performer, So it was a great question.
That is a great question. I mean, God, your guitar parts with even the Lizzy stuff. I mean, it's pretty deep. It's you get the two different parts. It's just deep, man. There's a lot of, and then I'm used to a place going, more like, okay, let's jam it out. Let's see where it's feeling, because you never know. You might make some other magical notes up there in a live show, or you feel off the crowd too. You might want to, hold a note a little different. But yeah, there's some fans that just want note from note. So you're that guy, huh? You're a note to note guy watching.
Well, I'm not exactly, but I did take a tip from him, and I put it back in some of the things that I thought were going to be memorable in the solos that people would recognize, instead of just jamming away. Because it's why people buy the records, listen to them, because there's certain things that hit that note for them, right? And I guess I maybe wasn't hitting the note for him, so I wanted to let him know that I'm hitting the note for you now, buddy. I hope you're listening now.
It's funny. Les Paul would play when I was living in New York in Manhattan every Tuesday night, and I forget the name of the place in the Village. It was something Tuesdays. Him and another guitar player sit on a stool, two Les Pauls, and they would just jam. It was incredible. Nobody was in the club, just Les Paul right in front of me, maybe 10 people. And I remember watching his. Yeah, it was Scott. It was heavy, and I was like, I mean, it was like a little cocktail table, like something in Goodfellas, like the scene and the bar, and right there, maybe 20 people in the whole place. And this is probably around 88, 89. He'd play every Tuesday. Yeah,
right before. It's like a true legendary guy sitting right in front. This is a guy that I've already mentioned Clapton, but Jimmy Page and all these guys, they will put this guy's name right at the top of the list of people that they were listening to and learning from. They've jammed with them, and they were like ecstatic because they got to jam with Les Paul. I know. Unfortunately, I never got to see him. All the times, no, and all the times I was in New York, I guess he just wasn't there or something, But I would have loved to have seen Les Paul.
Yeah.
and in action. You know, would have been so cool.
He's a guitar player. I forget the guy's name. Maybe it was Steve. I could be wrong, but he was just as great as Les Paul, and just two of them sitting on a chair, and that's it, just jamming. Little licks. They were licking back and forth. It was pretty incredible, and I'm glad I got to see that. I almost did pass that moment up, and I would have been upset. Now you still have your '57 Les Paul from back in the day, correct?
I do. I love that guitar from the moment I picked it up in Boston, Massachusetts. A guy came to our sound check. We were playing in this big old theater. He was a guitar seller, and we let him in, and he put down 6 guitar cases, flipped all the lids, right? And for some reason, my eye went straight to that guitar. I didn't want to know about the other ones, right? But went straight to that 57. I didn't know it was a 57 at the point, right? And can I pick it up? Absolutely, right? The neck fit my hand perfectly. The weight was great. I played it a while. I turned to Phil, said, "What do you think?" He went, "Man, that sounds great. It sounds really great." And I got on, my mistake was I got onto the microphone to our out front sound guy, right? I said, "Hey, Pete, what do you think?" And the guy that's selling it to me is right there, right below me, right? Oh. "Pete, what do you think?" And he goes, "Buy it." And I could see this guy going, "I got him." No negotiating here at all. So I bought the guitar right there on the spot, you know, and I right from that night on, I played that every single Lizzy track. So that would be 1976 all the way to 1983. I played that guitar. I just loved it today. I don't play it anymore. Just because of the vintageness of it and the insurance, you know, possibilities of it getting harmed or stolen or whatever. Right?
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. But I do. I just love that guitar.
You don't do any home Christian Martucci, who's in Black Star Righties, for people who are watching this. He's big with recording his whole setup at home. Are you a guy like that too? No. You don't do
No. Hell, Steph, and I have a hard time figuring out how to turn my amp on, you know.
I love it.
Is this button too? The fader okay? Is that EQ? I don't know what's going on here. I'm that guy, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Christian was a really different guy to work with and write with, because he was out on the. I remember when Ricky and I decided, okay, Christian's our guy. We want to get him in the band. But he was out, and we needed to write this next album. We had to do it kind of pronto-like, you know. So and Christian was out on tour with Stone Sour at the time, and he was going to be out there for still a couple of months, right? Mm-hmm. So it was his suggestion. He said, "Why don't you guys just email me or text email me your bits, your ideas, right? Because I brought the studio out on the road with me." That's like, really? Who does that? Right? Okay. And I, you know, in the beginning, I thought, do I actually like that idea? Because I love being in the room, getting eyeball to eyeball with everybody, shoulder to shoulder, bouncing ideas back and forth. And that's crap. You know, yeah, that's really good. You know, that kind of thing. So to all of a sudden feel like you've kind of lost control a little bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of strange, you know, but there was almost we got kind of backed into a corner here with everybody's, you know, spread out all over the world, and Christian willing to do it. So that's what we did. You know, Ricky sent in his ideas. I sent in my ideas. Robbie had a few ideas that he was throwing in. And I guess after shows and during the day, Christian just worked his ass up, gluing all these bits together.
Yeah.
Sending them out to us, right? And I got to say, you know, most of those ideas got used. Some of them didn't.
Yeah.
Some of them worked better than others, and we kind of jigged and jagged when we actually finally got together again in the studio. But I thought it was a pretty useful way of writing an album. I'm not sure I would do it again, right? But yeah, we did that because we were our backs were kind of up against the wall. But I'm glad we did it, because it was a really kind of cool a different way of writing an album.
He's real passionate about it, because actually when he was living in Burbank, he had his whole setup, and he's like just into it. So here you got this guitar player who's really passionate about it, and he just digs into it, loves doing it. It's a laboratory almost the way he's doing it, and it's a whole different way of it's a new way, I guess. A lot of the new kids are doing it these days. I'm used to a room bouncing off of each other, just like you.
Right. Old school.
Yeah, old school. Tape recorder next to you. Put the guitar.
Yeah. But you can learn things from the younger guys like Christian.
Oh, he's great. He's great. He's great at doing it too. And so now, what's the plan for the future after this? Like, we're in this whole crazy world we're living in. What do you got going on now, Scott?
Well, I talked to Adam Parsons, one of our managers, and it looks like as far as our writers goes, we're going to actually take the year off because it's going to be chaos. Blood is going to be all over the walls with people kind of trying to stab each other getting out there on the road, right?
Totally.
With the bigger names and all that. It's going to be chaos, right?
Yeah.
But chaos nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to let the dust settle a little bit. We're going to give it a year. I think Black Star Riders, it looks to me, are going to make a re-entry in 23. Yeah. Whereas myself, Ricky, Damon Johnson, and Robbie and Troy from Mastodon will probably take Lizzy out on the road, probably the latter end of 22. So
okay.
Well, yeah, like I said. Okay. I'm not believing anything right now, but that's kind of that's the blueprint right now.
Yeah, that's all you could do is a blueprint. We don't know. Yeah. Did you get a vaccine yet? Have you done it? All that stuff. You done it? Two of them. Me too. I got the Pfizer.
Okay, I got the AstraZeneca. Right. Is that the way you say it?
Is that it? Is that? I got I went to, when I got mine. It was just like it was a weird thing. I'm like, okay, you got to do it, and I felt like it's a Twilight Zone movie. But I'm like, okay, just who would ever picture if I told you 5 years ago, hey Scott, we're gonna be wearing masks like Japan. Remember, you go to Japan, everybody's masking up.
They wear them anywhere.
Yeah.
Just for the safety thing, you know.
If I told you 5 years ago it's going to be like Japan, we're going to wear masks, you probably said this guy is out of his mind. It's right?
I wouldn't have believed you. You're right. I wouldn't have believed you. Right.
Yeah.
But it's funny. A lot of things have come out. To see what countries can handle this, what countries can't. How together are some countries, and what countries totally failed. What population can actually stick to the program, and what population can't. It's very interesting to see in real time what is actually going on. And these businesses that were thought like fat cats, and they would be around for the rest of your life. In a week, they went down.
Quick, like the Hindenburg. They went down quick.
You start to realize how much of a knife edge a lot of these people were living on. So that was another eye opener there. So, but I think in the end, what it's going to do, it's going to make us all stronger as people. I was there when the pandemic hit. I got through it with my sanity and all that, and came through with flying colors. And that's really what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
The only problem I see is the QAnon kind of people, the conspiracy people, hey, don't take this vaccine. We don't know. There's, little robots in there that are going to control our right. Where are you getting that? I don't understand that kind of thing. Right. But I really think, and the blood clot thing. Oh my God. The blood clot thing. I don't believe that any of these vaccines, the Johnson & Johnson, the one I took, none of those are causing blood clot. It's just flat out bad luck. That's all it is. Really.
Yeah.
Advise everybody. We got to get the train back on the track here, right? And so let's be part of the solution rather than the problem. Go out and get the vaccine, for God's sake. Let's get this thing done and dusted.
Amen. That's the truth, man. Because
Okay.
I'll tell you, at first, Scott, I'll tell you, I liked staying home and being at homebody. I don't really want to go out nowhere, right? Especially if it's a wedding or a bar mitzvah. Now it's excuse. Well, the corona thing's going on. I can't make it. Sorry about it. You could use it as an excuse.
That's a great excuse, right?
Yeah, I can't. Scott comes to town. Hey, I'm Stefan. I'm playing. I got Scott.
Yeah, dude, I got a pre-existing. I better,
But after a while, it all turned around. I got stir crazy in my own home, and and then I get a little like paranoid. I mean, going out there, and I start. Oh, I have a 5-year-old kid, so she's touching things off the ground. I'm like, don't touch that. It's like slow motion.
No. Yeah, and that's the thing. It because everybody's been undercover for so long now. It takes a while to get your confidence back.
Yes.
No matter what you're doing, to step outside and the Dracula thing with the sun hitting you in the face. It's going to take a while for things to get back up to speed. Your mental thing, the physical thing of not moving around a lot. Which I particularly I'm a bad offender with that. I got to get out of bed, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, golf. How about golf? How about golfing? You're a big golfer.
We haven't been able to play in 7 months.
Really?
So I went out and played last week, and it was like I'd never played the game before. It was freaking awful.
Was your game off? Was it really that bad, the game?
Oh, it was terrible, Stefan. It was absolutely. I was embarrassed and swearing, which I never do. At least on the golf course. But I'm sure you hit like 1 or 2 good shots. You go, okay, there it is. Okay,
yeah.
And you're not right, but you can see that you can build on that, and it's going to come back. So,
did you want to make eye contact with the other guys you were playing with? Like, oh God.
No. When you make a bad shot, everybody's looking at their shoelaces.
Now, Scott, I want to have you played golf with Alice Cooper, because he's a
couple of times.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's really
a
good
great guy. Yeah. I played golf with Alex Lifeson, who's also great to be out on the golf course with.
Yeah.
All these people, when you get out on the golf course, you better check. You got to check the ego on the first tee, because
check it.
It's not going to go according to plan. It just is not going to happen, right? So, but these 2 guys, Cooper and Alex and others. I mean, they're just really great guys anyway. So you were going to have a good time. Everybody was in good hands. We all got basically the same sense of humor. Alice is a little bit out there, right? But he's got some stories. But wow, he's got some great ones.
Well, I think that's part of his thing. He's a good storyteller. So then he'll tell a story right when you want to hit. So he'll make your game off. Maybe.
No, he's a little bit more ethically informed than that, But you're right. He tells as you're walking down the fairway, he goes, "Hey man, did I ever tell you about blah blah blah?" And he's got this story. I mean, on each hole, he's got like a different story, and you're busting up laughing, the whole time. Or he's got you going, "Oh, really? I never thought about it that way." It's one of those. So he's a great hang.
Here's the soundbite I could get right now. So, out of all the people you play golf, okay, who's the guy that just gets you crazy? Like he just gets you when you're playing. He could beat you, or just who's that guy that makes you just? I guess there's no words what I'm trying to say. It's like who's the guy that makes you go?
It's a buddy of mine, and I play with him all the time. Right. His name is Andy, and he's an actor, and I won't give you his last name. Right? But he'll hit a shot and go, "Oh my God, did you see that?" Really, and it was only an 8-iron that I used, and everybody goes, "Oh God, really?" Because everybody else is using like a 4-iron, right? Because this guy really pounded out there, but he wants to let you know that I only used an 8-iron, right?
It's my soundbite. Everybody wants to know everything else. I want golf stuff. This way, he's go. That man, you guys told me this Stefan guy. He blasted it everywhere on the internet. The golf store.
You play golf?
Not at all. I just listen to stories. I don't play golf. No, I should because the best. You know what? I want to play golf, and it's the best deals go on a golf course. I'm like the worst Jewish. I'm like the poorest Jewish man living. I do the wrong moves. I'll get in the golf. I need to do it, and I want to do it,
Yeah,
but with this
and
Corona
it's,
thing, I'm not
but
going.
I gotta warn you, it's way harder than it actually looks.
It is really hard. I know.
It's very technical, and you got to keep your emotions in check the whole time, and it's pretty rigid in the way you swing the club, right? So we were out in Spain one day, and I was playing with this band I had. It's called 21 Guns, right?
Yeah.
And the promoter said, "Hey, I'll buy you a round at this really great golf." Okay, and this photographer guy wanted to go out and take pictures of it, and bust on the tee and hitting the balls and all that. And he's one of those guys he's got a body like that, with the 6-pack and wants to show it off. The shirt's off the whole time. The muscles are flexing and the veins are out, right? You're like, damn, this guy's really in shape here, So he likes to let everybody know about it too. So we're out there and we're taking a couple of practice swings. He goes, I don't know why you guys like this game. Yeah, this is a real pansy game. I don't get it. It's like it's for old man. This is unbelievable. I'm like, So we're playing like 3 holes, right? And he keeps going on about this. Right? So I got fed up and I said, all right, pal, here's the deal. Here's a 7-iron. There's a ball right there. I want to see you hit this, right? He takes a God almighty cut, misses it by 6 inches. The next cut he takes goes over the ball, right? The third cut, right, just barely ticks the ball and slices off to the side and goes for about 10 yards. And I went, right, you think it's such an easy game now, pal? I'm going to tail firmly between the legs. And, no. I said, okay, we meet you back at the clubhouse, So it showed him right off the bat that even if you got this great physique and 6-pack and you seem really coordinated, it's not something that you just walk out and do.
No,
it's like playing guitar. You have to really practice at it.
it's a technique to it too. There's a whole it's a whole groove. It's a technique, the swing, the angle, your whole leg. Yeah, no, I know, and I think that's what stops me. I think it's the fear. It's just, okay, I don't want to look like this guy on the golf course. So where's the entry level for a guy like me? And you mentioned 21 Guns. Right here, look at this. What we got right here. Look at this picture.
Oh, look at the hair on that guy. Jeez.
Look at that picture. And over here, this band is actually anthem sounding. Was a great band. This is before, for people watching, right pre Black Star Riders, or before the Thin Lizzy. It was that 1990-ish, early 1990-ish you started this?
Yeah, I think we started in 90, 91, something like that. Yeah.
91, right? The music is just anthem sound. The singer, the vocals are great. I was just listening to Jungle Land off of that, and just great sounding vocals and the music.
I thought he was a really good singer. I think what happened
Cold Heart.
Right. I think what happened with Tommy was he was kind of a pop singer, and I was trying to make him into a rock singer. And then the next singer came in, who was Sully, and he was a rock singer, and I was trying to make him into more of a pop singer to try to get something in the middle there, right?
Yeah.
And I think I succeeded with both of them, fairly well, right?
Yeah.
But it was a shame about 21 Guns. I love that band. I love the guys in it. I really do think we came up with some pretty credible music, really listenable stuff. Things that made your head want to bop up and down a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it just it didn't fly. So RCA showed us the door.
It was the time it came out, music was going through a weird thing, because I was just playing it to my wife, and she goes, "Who is that? I really like that." And I go, "That's Scotsman, 21 Guns." And she goes, "What?" I go, "Really?" I go, "Yeah." And because the singer doesn't sound like a Phil, it's not like a Ricky vibe, but more polished, more like it for that sound. You definitely would hear his, like, in a lot of soundtrack. He's great singers for like the soundtrack. Yeah. Oh, great. Like really a pro, arena.
Something happened. We got caught. We had finished the album, and RCA, this is not an excuse. It's just kind of what happened.
Yeah.
RCA did not have a president of the company at the time. So they said, we're going to hold off releasing the album until we, get the new president in, which took like 5 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
which was a very bad timing on our part because right in that moment, that's when grunge came in.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
over, Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all these guys came in.
Totally.
And that was pretty much us finished, like bang, right out the back, So
yeah,
we all have it at times. We all get bad timings in certain parts of our careers and lives and all that, and that was one of them for 21 Guns. So yeah, it's a shame. I really like that band.
I still think those songs could be put out again, and I think you could do something with them because they're too good of songs to be hidden under a rock. I mean, you listen, a good song's a good song, and that's it.
Yeah.
Look at Benny Mardones, "Into the Night." Do you remember that song, "Into
Right.
the Night"? It was a hit
Yeah.
song 2 different times, different span. Great song, and it was re-released, fantastic. And a good song's a good song. That's it.
Yeah, I would love to somehow be able to, re-release that the Salute album. I think it would be really cool just to see what. Hey, if nothing happens, then okay, I give Uncle, I give up, But if you could get like another stab at it just to see what would happen, cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was listening to yeah,
I'll mention it.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the songs. Even like if you even did, and here I am managing Scott now. Get rid of this guy. Like even like acoustic style, like a you do with the guys, like an acoustic vibe of some of these songs. Because
Stefan, you've been talking to my wife. You have
no, really, really. Is that what she says?
Yeah. Well, she wants me. I did 3 or 4 songs with Darren Wharton, which were songs, right?
Yeah.
And we did them all acoustically, right?
Yeah.
And I brought them back, and everybody that listened to them went, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" Right? Because if somehow acoustically you can actually focus in more on the lyrics and what Phil was actually writing about and what he was actually saying in the songs for whatever reasons, right? It was easier to hear that lyric content, but it was maybe just because it was acoustics, it was just easier on the ear.
Yeah.
Right. And she felt like she's been on, and we did this in, oh my God, 97, for God's sakes,
Mm-hmm.
She's still on to me about it. You got to do this acoustic.
Scott, let me tell you something. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
But she's
right.
But she's right. It would sound good. There's the band. I did a show, and it was the band Player, and Baby Come Back.
Sorry, who?
Remember the band Player, Baby Come Back?
Yes.
So Peter Becker,
Baby Come Back.
Baby Come Back. He did. He was going to do a show, and then it turned. I go, why don't you do an acoustic show? Because the whole band, he couldn't get all his band together. I never done that before, and he did it. It was the first time he did, and it was so good. I mean, the acoustic, you never go wrong with it. And with your songs, your catalog, it's a home run. Listen to your wife, Scott. That's it.
Yeah.
Next interview. I want first dibs. I want first dibs on the next interview. When you do that acoustic album, I want to be the first. That's it.
Okay, you're on. You were the one that gave me the idea, man. So you're first on the list.
The first on the list. I want you ended up. Is your wife? Is she from England, Europe?
No, she's from Austria.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Austria. Okay.
I married a little Edelweiss.
Now, how long you married for, Scott?
40 years.
40 years, huh? Wow.
I think that's got to be some sort of a rock and roll record. I mean, it just has to be.
What's the key? Tell me. Give me some advice now, Scott.
Well, I think some of it is I was on the road so much you didn't have to deal with me. That took up quite a long time. I've always loved Christine, and she's always loved me, and we just really do get along. We kind of think along the same lines and all that. I really do think she probably should have left me several times, especially through the bad years, which makes me kind of love her even more that she hung in there. I know a lot of guys who are in the same position as me and going through the same thing, and their wife just went, "Sorry, I'm out of here. I can't take this." Right? Mm-hmm. And I don't blame them for leaving it all, but Christine just would not give up on me. So you gotta love a woman like that, and I do.
Yeah.
I love her to.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, Scott. It really is.
Yeah,
See?
that's what I
And
think
now
too.
that is a good thing. Christine, if you're watching, that acoustic record it's about to happen now. Because see,
But inspired
right
by
there.
Christine and Stefan.
That's it. That's it. She gets first. She gets top billing always, always.
Oh, of course, of course.
Of course. So what's like the life in England now? Like you're out there. I mean, the stores is it things in motion out there? Can you go out to eat? Just everything's
Yeah.
unlocked.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The British people gave it that old World War II spirit kind of thing, and we're going to stay together, and they did. There was no major partying, gatherings to spread the disease even further. People did stick it indoors. They stuck by the rules for the most part.
Yeah.
You see there were blips here and there, but for the most part, everybody did it. And the big reason for that is because everybody so loves the NHS, they did not want to see the NHS go under because of all the strain they were under. So that was another incentive to play by the rules, right? So, what happened? And Boris Johnson, you got to hand it to him with the vaccine thing. He ordered it months and months before all the other European countries who are totally pissed off with England right now because he had the forethought to order tens of millions of vials of the vaccine, right? So that helped out quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
So we're in a position right now where I think we're either the only country or one of very few where everything is opened up now. Yeah, you can go to restaurants, stores are opening up. You still have to wear the mask. But, freedom is here. You can see what discipline does to, free everybody up, right? Yeah. And that's why I keep saying to America, you're not at the finishing line yet. Forget about going to the football games and baseball games and, all of that, concerts and all that. You got that much more to go, just that much more to go. So hang in there for a couple more months, and you'll get the same thing. I mean, Biden, with the vaccine run that he's done, I think he's done a superb job.
Yeah.
Getting as many people vaccinated as possible. You're that far away, stick to it.
Yeah.
Stick to it.
Yeah.
And you can be like us in the UK.
Man, I would love to be in the UK.
That sounds like I'm rubbing it in, right?
You totally are, because it's so funny. I'm just listening to you talk. While you're talking, I'm listening to your story, but the other part of me is saying, where the hell is the accent? He didn't lose it. There's there's no English accent, not even a.
No. That's on purpose too. My dad came over in 19. He had never been out of the country except for World War II. He'd never been out of the country, right? But he wanted to come to England, right, and to experience it for himself. So he flew over, and I think it was about 78 or 79. Right? And, I took him down to the pub, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll say certain British phrases just to get along, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll say petrol instead of gasoline, right? The British just won't say gasoline at all. They'll start making fun of you. So just to get along, I'll say, I got to go get some petrol, that kind of thing. And there's other words, right? Yeah. So we were sitting in the pub with my dad, and I said a couple of these phrases. Right? He goes, hell, boy, it sounds like you're starting to get yourself a British accent there. I said, no, I'm not. That's never going to happen. I am American, 100% USDA, prime meat. That's just the way it is. I love England, but I'm always going to be American. And I'm just really conscious. Actually, it's not even a conscious thing. I just talk the way I do. I don't have to think about keeping the accent. It's just kind of part of me that it's never been a problem, right? But I will do those phrases, But every once in a while, I'll think, okay, is that an American phrase or is that a British phrase? I've been over here so long, I can't remember. Is it a faucet or a tap over here? Those kind of things creep in, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. I can't shake my accent. I don't think it's ever going to go away. It doesn't
You
matter where
shouldn't.
I live.
No.
It's
You,
just
you shouldn't. You are who you are. You know, you
no.
are, you know, where you came from. You know, if you start covering it up, then it's almost pretty false. You know.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you think do you think your accent is bad or something?
no, I love it. I love it.
Well, then
I
fuck
can never
him.
change it. I can never change it. I want to ask Scott, fuck him. I want to ask,
Yeah.
what do you miss about Glendale? Your home? Is there the food or something you do miss back?
Well, you know
back in the
something.
day?
I don't miss anything about Glendale. You know,
Yeah.
Glendale. When I was growing up in, you know, back in the '60s, was probably one of the most racist cities you could possibly be.
Was it really?
Oh my God. The police department, it was absolutely all white.
Yeah.
The residents were all white with a kind of a little smattering of Mexicans. Right?
Yeah.
To school with the Mexican kids and all that. I had a lot of Mexican friends, right? But I remember one story about Glendale, right? This kid, he'd come out of the army, found himself in Glendale for some reason. He was black, you know, and he got introduced to, you know, this white lady who lived in kind of central Glendale, and he didn't have any place to live. You know, had no job prospects. So she said, "Listen, I've got a cot in my garage, you know, with a chest of drawers, and you just open the door to the house, and the bathroom's right there. Why don't you come down and just chill out there for a few days, just to get your cards and see what you want to do?" Great, you know, man, you're saving my life. So he goes in with the suitcase. Of course, you get the neighbors, you know, through the blinds, you know, and they see this guy walking in. And obviously, she called the police, which was terrible. But the police came screaming around, flat lights going away. Took this guy, his bags, threw him in the car, drove him out of Glendale, dropping him at the outskirts, and said, "Don't come back."
Wow.
Right? So, yeah, what the fuck is going on there? You know,
that was Glendale.
Yeah, he needed a place to stay. Now, growing up in Glendale, besides that, was great. It was a great environment, great for kids. You know, we lived up in the mountains. You know, a lot of hiking and all that. It was, you know,
the hiking,
that, you know, it was Brand Boulevard was killer. All the shops and the school system was great. I've got no fault with the sort of Glendale system and all. In fact, all I've got is kind of love and affection for the whole Glendale thing. But it was that one story that got to me, you know.
That got to you.
And it was a story, kind of a hand-me-down story. And I'm really hoping it's really not true, but it was verified as, this really did happen. So, who knows?
You made the right choice. You made the right choice where you're going, and my wife will agree, because we both want to be. We love to be in Europe. It's one of our favorite places to visit. But you know, living there, you know better. You know, when you first.
Well, you know, the cities in Europe are so they're just so interesting because each capital city you go to throughout the whole European vista, right? They're all completely different, and that's what makes Europe really unique, right? Whereas when I'm on a tour bus in America, you know, you kind of open up the curtains in the morning and you see the high rise and you go, well, what is that? It looks like the last city we were in. You know, it's almost kind of cookie cutter kind of cities, you know. So, but kind of hope the Americans don't hate me for this.
No,
but
no, it's true.
You know me, I don't like to make enemies. You know,
don't make. We'll cut that out. I like walking around and kind of venturing out and just looking at the architect and just checking different spots out. And London has such great. There's such great history out there. You know, finding an old building.
Oh no, you still see the shrapnel holes and the machine gun holes in the side of the buildings that they
I love
covered up.
I love it.
Yeah, it's very cool. But there's a place in Germany. It's called Dresden.
Yeah.
And every time I see a World War documentary and they talk about Dresden and just bombing it to ruins, it just because I've been there, and I see how beautiful that city was. This is the old part of the city, the ancient part of the city, which about only, I don't know, maybe a quarter of it still survived. There's these giant statue reliefs, like clinging onto the wall, and all their kind of Viking gear, right? And the beards and the sculpted hair and all that. It's just, I was stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. And to think that all of this was actually all over that city, because it was, as the artist city, and it was really artistic, and all of this stuff was everywhere in Dresden, and in a blink of an eye, it was gone. It was like, oh,
wow.
Terrible. And there was no reason to bomb it. In the end, there was no reason to bomb it. So
yeah,
the story even more terrible.
Man, I love checking out all these places when I go venture out, and my wife likes to just say I've been there, but I really get into it. Oh, did I lose you, Scott? Okay, wait, hold on. I'm right here. Hold on, Scott. I put.
Okay.
You like how professional I am? Did I just see?
You know what happened there?
What happened?
The battery went down on the.
It's a good excuse. You know what? We need, Scott. We need to do a part two with you. You're great. I mean, there's so much stuff to talk to, and I don't want to take up all your day. It's 50 minutes all this you've been here. But there's so much history to talk with you. You've done so much.
I love talking with you.
You know what? We made friends with each other. Thank you. Knuckles to you, man.
Where is it? There we go.
There. Boom. Right there. Oh, this is good. I was actually nervous. I was telling Robbie and Christian, I go, man, if you guys don't hear from Scott anymore and you're looking for a gig, I'll help you on the next one.
Oh man, I'm not some scary ass fucking guard dog. Come on.
No, Robbie out the gate said you guys are going to hit it off great with each other. The band The Greedy that you did, and it's funny because I had Glenn Matlock on the show a couple of weeks ago, but he wasn't in that. It was with Phil. It was Steve. It was Paul Cook, drummer for the Pistols. Tell me about that really quick. How long was that band for? The Greedy.
Oh, very short-lived. Yeah, it was never going to be a long-lived kind of. It wasn't going to be a career thing.
It was just a jam band, just to get together.
Well, no. What it was is Bob Geldof was in, so we did 3 Rats songs. So 3 their songs. God, who else was in that thing? We learned 3. Steve Cook and Paul Jones. What band were they in?
Steve Cook. They're in the Silver Beatles.
Steve will love that, right? So, so we learned Three Pistols songs, and everybody who was in the band, we learned their songs, and of course they had to learn 3 Thin Lizzy songs.
Yeah.
And what it did, it took us, all of us, out of our own little bubbles, right? And showed us what each person, what everybody else had to go through, and the different writing styles that happen, the way you play them and all that. So it was a really great experience. I was having dinner one night with a bunch of friends, right? And this guy dropped in, and he says, "Can I just sit down and tell you something?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I looked at him. I said, "Aren't you?" And it was Liam Cunningham from Game of Thrones, right? And I thought, "Holy shit, great, yeah, man, sit down." And he's Irish, right?
Yeah.
Because I got to tell you, back in the day when you guys were doing the Greedies, I was right there in the front row with you guys with my mohawk, and
Wow.
and I'm looking at this guy going, "Oh my God, I think of you more as like this Shakespearean kind of actor. I can imagine you with a mohawk, getting down and spitting on us,
Wow.
It was like during the punk era.
Yeah.
And, you could see people going, just working one up, and I'm like, "Oh God, here comes a hairy one," right? And what I would do is I would just hide behind Phil, right? He'd catch all these loogies in his afro, right? And he loved it. He loved getting spit on. I didn't want to have any part of that.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, no kidding, right? The disease, right? But it's amazing the people that will come up to you and admit that they were this and that when they saw you. So it's all great fun.
That is great fun, man. You know what? That's a great. It's funny when Christian and I went to Argentina with Didi Ramon, and
Right.
the punk fans, as you know, first of all, it was all guys in the audience, and it used to drive Didi crazy. But they would cup their hands and throw the spit at you, and then that's their way of saying, for people watching this, it's they like you.
Cup. I thought you meant cup.
No, cup. They spit, they cup their hands, and they throw it like a baseball at you.
Oh my
And
God.
that's to show they love you. And I don't want to be loved like that. And I remember hiding behind Didi.
Yeah.
And
I can do that kind of love. It's
it went in my mouth.
You hid behind Didi and I hid behind Phil. Right?
Exactly, but it went in my mouth, Scott, and I almost threw
Oh
up
no.
on stage. Yes.
Did you swallow?
No, I didn't. I'm not on the first date.
Did you inhale?
No. Oh my God. It was an experience. I mean, they're great stories to talk about and to reminisce, but I now I like being in my house and just like the backyard. I'm a simple guy now.
You don't like it. You're in the house and you're not getting spit on, so it's all
No,
good.
nobody's spitting. Just my wife yells at me that I'm not cutting the lettuce the right way. That's
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
That's it. But that must have been a fun band just to play the songs. That's a wild mix, huh? The Pistols. You did some Lizzy too with them. You did a little.
Oh yeah,
bit of
yeah.
everything.
Everybody had to learn 3 Lizzy songs also. So
Steve is actually a really great guitar player too. Steve Jones. He's actually
yes,
really good.
He's a lot better than he's given credit for.
Good singer.
I can't remember what album we were doing, but Steve and Paul would come down to the studio quite a bit, and it was around Christmas time. Oh, no, it was like a few months before Christmas. That's what it was. And Phil said, "Hey, we're gonna do a Christmas single." I'm going, "Oh God, really?" Because the Christmas singles that you hear here in England are just same as you get in America, right?
Yeah.
But old Stevie went, yeah, great idea, and I'm like, really? So we took a break from whatever album we were recording, went out in the studio, and Steve says, "I got this riff, and here it is, and looked at it. I said, "Well, okay, I can put a harmony to that." Okay, right. And Phil says, "Okay, I got some lyrics to that." And Jonesy and and Brian worked out how they were going to syncopate together, right? So the song was written literally in 45 minutes, right? The recording took maybe an hour to do, right? And it was mixed right there that day. So the whole thing was done in about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, right? And I thought, okay, well, that's a fun thing to do. And I forgot about it. I just forgot about it, right? Fun thing. Next thing I know, the record company has printed it up, right? And it's gone into the top 10. And now we're on top of the Pops.
Wow.
The song that took us 3 hours to write and record, right? And if you ever see the clip of us doing that show, you will see me going, what just happened here? It took us 3 hours. What's going on? You know? We're on TV doing this, miming to this song, you know.
It's a great clip. You're wearing a tight fitted motorcycle jacket, I think, that you're wearing, and you're going up there, you're up there, you're putting the hand in the air.
Well, you got to get into it. Once you're there, you got to get into it. You know?
But it's a great video, and I found it, and I'll put an overlay over here to show a picture of what everybody looks like. The band, but you guys all look like you're having a great time. Great vibe.
No. Listen, when you were Steve Jones and Paul Cook, and you combine Thin Lizzy together, you can't help but have a good time. Come on.
No, it's a great time. I want to ask you, when you pick up your guitar, what's the first thing you strum on? Like if there's something that you go to, is there a to-go-to song that you just, what are you sitting on a couch? Is there something that you always go if you're hitting an E or a G or a riff or a song, an intro?
I'll probably just go for the plain old E major, just to see if the damn thing's in tune.
Okay. The E major.
That's all you're going to get out of me on that.
Okay.
And then I'll hit an A major, right?
Yeah. You know, on bass.
No. I know what you're going for, but there's no certain song.
There's no certain song. I always go. Yeah, my thing is on bass. It's always the bass line Day Tripper, because I know the bass is in tune, right? All the strings, I'm hitting them all. The first thing, right out the gate. And
that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's a good sound check. It's a good that, and also, Jackson's I Want You Back, James Jamerson bass line.
All right. Okay. Cool.
The great bass line on that. Were you into Motown? Did you like? How about Motown?
Oh God, yeah. Are you kidding?
See, I got a reaction. There's another soundbite. All right, write the time down on this one.
So that's what you were looking for. Okay.
I'm looking for reaction. I need drama. All right.
No, Motown was pretty big in my life. Obviously, well, I never played the songs or anything, but it's a style of songs where you got to do this all the time.
Yeah.
Grooves of these songs are just incredible, and they seem like they just come out of thin air. Like it's so easy for these Motown players to get that kind of groove, where the rest of us might be kind of struggling to get this slow and easy going. Man, they just bang straight off the bat. They got it, So yeah, I love those guys.
I mean, there was something in the studio with what they had, the magic and just the whole story about the Funk Brothers. It's another credible story just to talk about just all the magic in the studio, those bass lines, and it's so inspiring, all that stuff, And I just get off on all the history of rock and roll. It never gets old. Scott, I'll let you get going, and we'll wrap this up because I know you got to get back into your life, and took a lot out of it right now. But man, this is a lot of fun talking with you today.
It is. We'll do part 2. Huh?
I would love to do a part 2 with you, my friend. And I feel like there's a connection. And you know what, Scott? We'll get you this. You got to wear this on the.
All right. I need a hat.
Okay.
Oh,
you get.
I need a hat.
You got it. Just hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. This was Mr. Scott Gorham right here. Check it out. Subscribe, like it, love it, share it, and we'll see you guys all later.